Let's start this series off with a bang, so big Urban would cream his pants, and talk about the third most powerful starting nation behind Luxembourg and Ulm. The Kebab. The Blobbermans, the Sultan with the mostest with the lands that are grand. That's right, we're talking about the Ottomans. You have been warned! Now, unlike the Turks at Vienna, let's march our way into national ideas. Your traditions give a +5 to discipline and a +3 to tolerance of heathens. The second being really good, since no matter what route you go, you'll be conquering the Ragusa trade node. And discipline being one of, if not the, strongest military modifier. But Rex, what about morale? Yes, morale is good, but discipline is like getting attack damage and armor at the same time. No matter how much Little Drummer Boy over there improves the mood, it doesn't beat Little Gunner Boy with OP armor. So your first idea, canoe name. Yeah, that. Gives 25% CCR and +1 max cultures. It used to be really good, but after the domination update, it just kinda sucks since using Aelith saves on time and mana, giving a massive early lead. Luckily for the big green blob, the follow-up, Ghazi, with +20% manpower recovery, is freaking strong, especially with the extra manpower from Aeliths, the Devshirm Janissary privilege, and from the Devshirm government reform. Meaning after your first 20 years or so, you should pretty much never run out of manpower. Combined with your OP discipline and ridiculously strong tech group, you'll be feeling like you have the biggest dickus in the Romabu society. And the rest of these ideas are just kind of alright, so let's rapid fire through them like Salim did with certain Circassians. Timar system gives 15% cav combat ability, insert horse joke here. The Law Code of Suleiman gives +15% national tax and +10% reform growth. Autonomous Pashas gives -2 national unrest. Tulip Period gives +10% trade efficiency. Found the Imperial School of Naval Engineering giving +0.5 yearly naval tradition and -10% ship costs. But your ambition, giving +25% land force limit, is actually really good, allowing you to leverage all that extra manpower from all those buffs. Who the hell needs quantity with ideas like these? Building an army the size of an Age of Absolutism Russia by 1530! Now on to gov reforms. The Ottoman government gives a bunch of flat modifiers, but there are 4, count 'em, 4 special things about it. 1. The harem mechanics, giving a choice of 3 heirs. Well, I've seen enough hentai. B. Decadence threatening destruction after 1500. Tree, the Janissary estate. And Deus Ex Machina. Aeliths, which are special vassals that don't take a Diplo slot and give manpower, but have 2 tiers. One requires favors to call a war, and one can be annexed but don't join wars. Tier 2 has Devshirm system, which gives 10% national manpower, some estate stuff, and 3 unique buttons to push. Admin giving 10% CCR, lowered autonomy for heathens, -2 unrest, and 0.05 monthly devastation. Diplo giving a level 3 cheaper 33% off advisor, +1 possible advisors, and -5% Diplo advisor cost. And Mill, 10% manpower recovery, +25% vassal manpower contribution, more manpower. Who would have fucking guessed? As you can see, the Ottomans are already so OP it should be haram by Islamic law, but it goes even further with Tier 3 reform provincial government system, making Pashas give +33% tax modifier and -1 unrest for non-Turkish provinces, along with a flat 15% national tax, 25% vassal income, and -25% promote culture cost. Luckily, the Tier 5 reform Ghazi Warriors is kinda but I mean Otto is still OP as hell, so who cares? Not that one! But yeah, also that one. Here it is if you want to read it. I'd honestly just sustain discipline or organized military staff. And their final unique reform is Tier 11. I've learned my lesson for today. Which, just like Tier 5, is just kinda okay. In a tier where every other option is busted, why would you take this? But it doesn't matter either way, since people just about never make it to this point with our goldfish fucking attention span. There is multiple reforms locked behind a disaster, but this video is already running longer than intended, so I'll leave some mystery there for you. Due to the overpowered nature of Otto here, I'm just going to go over the most notable missions. The Guns of Urban, requiring you to employ a level 2 mill advisor and giving 4 artillery that can only be used for sieges, and a minus 100% cost for 10 years if it's urban. Honestly, in spite of all the complaints about this one, I actually like it. It fits the Ottomans really well, and can only be given to one army unlike the old age bonus. I too can get Guns of Urban. It's called going to Detroit.
At least we're not Detroit!
So let's go over the most OP mission, defeat the Mamluks. If you or a subject owns Damascus and 5 other Syrian provinces, you get a special casus belli, that if you siege the Mamluk capital and hold it for 3 years with 90% war score, you get them as a core aeolate for free with no AE. This mission is fucking ridiculous. The aeolate being weakened isn't even a downside, giving you time to get them loyal, and along with the other aeolate missions are just like aeolates themselves, ridiculously OP. It's ironic that the Mamluks originated in slavery, considering what's about to happen to their country. There's also Crimean Destiny, which if completed diplomatically, guarantees Crimea chooses servitude and becomes your march, instead of a tributary, which is pretty nice but not game-breaking. And a major upside being that it's better than the more recent Crimean Destiny event. Now for estates. If you're a new player, I'd go something like this, and if you're a more experienced player, add in the mana privileges. If you want an early reformed government, drop most of the Janissaries besides Devshirm and Loyalty. And if you're going for Mehmet's ambition, drop the admin since you'll need autonomy faster and you'll barely be coring anything. Plus, you get a half-price admin advisor. Now, for expansion routes, general Ottoman borders, plus maybe bits of Italy, Austria, and Persia, if you're new. Russia, if you're a troll, going for definitely the Sultan of Rum. Into India for trade min-max players. Romavu borders for Mehmet's ambition. For the first 3 idea groups, the best generalist build would be espionage, offensive, and innovative. Mehmet's ambition or conquest min-maxers go diplomatic, espionage, and offensive. And if you play with idea restrictions, diplo, offensive, and innovative. Now for some final words. Are the Ottomans OP? Yes, absolutely. They always have been and honestly always should be in spite of my bitching about manpower. The only place they went too far with is aeolates, which are great but need a debuff like missions locking their full power or something. They're only arguably balanced for something like Mehmet's ambition, which, on the topic, truly shows that all men wish to restore the Roman Empire. Thank you for watching, and if you've got some time, I've got a video right here I think you'll like. Watch it.